Hey, welcome to the X1 Legion cast. I've been printing cards and cutting them out. How about you? This is Randy with Matt and Mitchum, and we've got a special guest today. It's Colton. You might have seen him on the Jerry's Gameshop channel, specifically on the Tactics Talk series, amongst other things. But welcome, guys. Glad you're all here.
What's up?
Have you guys all been cutting out cards? Have you all switched over?
Can't make me change my Wookiee cards. I'm not. Those are in English. I won't do it. I'm saying the sounds, and I'm not changing the cards. And you can't make me. AMG's got to come to Oklahoma and take the cards away from me until I stop using them.
If you don't use the actual sounds on the OG cards when you're playing Wookiees, I will come swatch your models on the table personally. I do not approve of this change. I am also in defiance, and I completely respect that, Matt. So
Yep.
Here in reality, in real world, I'm kind of in a hybrid mode right now. I've kind of transitioned away from my lovely card pouches that I had for all my unit cards that I loved, and sleeved all my big cards, and still in the process of getting rid of my little cards. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's unfortunate, but I feel like I'm gonna need to print. I will hopefully have printed them for Big D that have just happened this past weekend. So, yeah.
I've been printing and cutting cards just for the Rebel list I want to play. I will not do it for Shadow Collective cards because if they're not change the units, why should I get cards? I mean, I could remember that they melee now, but no, I wish those card packs were out already. Like I don't know what was the delay on those, because there's no plastic in there. It's just cardboard. Come on, guys.
The tariffs, man.
But, the tariffs. I thought you said the terrorists. And I was like,
holding us back.
I was like, yeah, those dang Aldani insurrectionists.
That heist, it costs more than just the Empire.
Yeah, our cardboard. Oh man. Okay. Well, we've got an episode for you guys today. We got Colton here, and we're gonna be talking about some tactics. We've got a few different topics we want to run through. And yeah, occasionally we do try to have conversation to help us improve as players, and not just talk about how we struggle. And this is gonna be one of those episodes. It's gonna be great. We've got Command Card Tower Power. And of course, before we get too far, got to talk about some hobby harassment.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, kick us off, Mitchum.
I'm ready. Okay, I'm just gonna bring my whole tray over because, boys, let me tell you, I've been a painting. I've been a painting.
He's holding up a whole army.
Yeah, this is it. I painted the Jedi Guardian last night. I painted like 14 ARC Troopers for my list. I brought the Big D because I'm running 501st. So, yeah, Jedi Guardian, first one, kind of fun.
Very nice.
Got the dual saber, green. That was pretty unique. I still have a proxy Ahsoka in here. So she's the last one I need to like actually paint. But yeah, ARC Troopers, once you kind of get into the groove, they're pretty easy to paint. So I know they got a lot of intricate parts on there, but painted up a couple shotgun troopers too. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna derail us. I'm gonna derail us. Lightsaber. We've all painted lightsabers. What's your technique for lightsabers, Mitchum?
Why do you like the way I painted it?
I thought it looked pretty bright from over here. I thought it looked pretty good.
So typically, this one I kind of tried something new. But typically I'll try to find either like what I did for Anakin and Obi-Wan is I found just the brightest blue that I have, and it's not necessarily a metallic paint, but it's just like a really, really bright light blue. But for this one, I mixed a little bit of like green, yellow, and white together, and then like mostly green, and then like a dab of yellow and a dab of white. Mix that up together, and then use that as my lightsaber color, and it turned out really well. So I don't have like the glowing effect. I don't know if I could do that, but I think I like how bright it is, so it definitely stands out.
Yeah, for sure. That looks good.
So I'll probably be doing that in the future, adding a little bit of white or another color to like blue or something just to make it. I almost thought about making his lightsaber purple just because, and I think I will make one of my Jedi Guardians purple, but I think I'm going to stick just with the green for now. So, because he got the hand up, so he's more in tune with the Force, you know.
Yeah.
So.
You want me to go next?
Yeah.
How do you paint your lightsabers?
Okay, yeah. So I do like a white or a silver, kind of from the whole thing, and then I'll kind of gradient it up from like white in the base, and then I'll add the color. I've been doing for green and blue. I got these new Vallejo neon paints.
Yeah.
They're really, really thin, so you can really kind of layer it on and do like, really light layer, and then kind of work your way up the lightsaber, and then by the end you're full color, and then it kind of gradients down to like a white from the hilt. So pretty cool. I don't have anything with me. I didn't realize. I didn't. It's over there somewhere. But
I was like, there's only one lightsaber in Shadow Collective, Randy. So, and that's just
Red.
black.
Well, he did dark saber too. Though.
Even
red.
worse.
Okay.
Even worse. My bad. Nah, yeah, you're right.
So we were thinking of one, but just
I have not painted a lightsaber in Legion.
Maul.
No, they're acrylic.
Oh, he does the LED.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that.
All right,
Yeah.
Randy's better than all of us. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's actually glow.
Well, okay. I think I painted like the black crackle on the clear piece of acrylic for the dark saber.
Valid.
Barely counts.
Fair enough.
Looks good. Looks good.
Unless Colton wants to talk about lightsabers.
I put some dadgum steam paint over white, and then I'll highlight it with a bright color. And if it looks good,
There we
great.
go.
If it doesn't, I'll hit it just with the pure color, and I'll call it good.
Try it again.
Colton is like
keep going.
a very fast painter.
Mhm.
Like he's like a volume hobby guy.
I legit, like, since y'all know my occupation, but I get a lot more time in the summer. I promise you that by the end of this month, I won't own a Legion model that's not painted. Like, I will seriously sit down and be like, okay, here's all of the Empire models I have left. One day, paint them. Like, that's just, I do not slowly work my way up, but I'm pretty caught up on my painting. I was in a pretty deep hole about the last time I was probably on here, but I mostly just have about 3 boxes. And I don't have the new Ahsoka model yet, so I'll have to do her as well. But yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I am not caught up.
Shame.
As you can tell, screenshot it, see what the difference is from last time. I did get an e-web. I found one in the wild, unopened. So they do exist. They are extremely rare, and you do have to argue with people on eBay about
Is that
them.
the only one that you own?
Yes, actually,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I just started buying in the Empire, so I don't have
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. And it's
What
like,
a
oh,
terrible
e-web.
time to do that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, e-web seems cool. It's like, hey, that's not coming out till Q2 2026. It's like, well, better start looking for them. So, found some. Don't recommend trying to buy them on auctions because they get run up pretty high. I also bought a Callus, which was not hard to find. So, you don't have any problems there.
Chill,
But
guy.
yeah, no. So more gray plastic on the pile. No real hop progress this week. So yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. I don't know how I keep doing it, but the hole keeps getting bigger.
Wallet money.
Yeah.
More money than time. That's how that works. Colton, you're not at home, but any interesting projects going or?
Not to rub salt in the wound, but I've been painting my AOS army and its Cities of Sigmar, and for the three people that just understood what army that is, it has been a very fun challenge because I'm not harping on the quality of Legion models, but those AOS models have some serious detail on them. And it's taught me two things. Like, number one, it's the first time I've had to slow down and paint, so I've had to like really change that. But if you do take your time, I kind of like a lot of people are like, man, these models are so hard to paint. I'm never going to be able to do it. I kind of like that they're harder because it's almost like a coloring book where there's so many details that I know I have to paint something a certain way. And when I do that, it looks really cool at the end of it. So even though it's harder, if you slow down a little bit, it almost looks better. Like when the model has more quality, for example, like Ahsoka's hair, like the one that has the actual indentions, that makes it a lot easier. Bosk, he has the like textured skin, makes it easier to paint. And so the more detail I find in these models, the like more fun I have painting them, if that makes sense. Like clones can get tiring because I'm like, I gotta fill in all of these black parts of the suit. I'm gonna break my skull on a wall or something, but it's been a fun experience. So, I'm painting my first green army, which is my favorite color, and I don't know why I don't have one, but I'm about to, so that's a thing. But mostly main thing for Legion is I have 3 Dark Troopers for some reason, and if you guys remember my Empire stuff, it's like all gold. So I have to finish my Golden Armada, and then I'll probably be a list I throw in our fun little team league soon.
Yeah, one of the cool things about AOS, especially in GW, is they have a lot of centerpiece models
Oh yeah,
that are like very like, oh, this is what I'm going to build my whole list around, and it's like
yeah,
a massive like, on a base that's like 10 inches wide, and the model is like almost 8 inches
huge.
tall, and like you can see it from across the room. A lot of those showpieces and centerpieces that are really cool, and there's a lot of fantastic painters out there that paint those up just immaculate. Not saying that you're a
Oh
bad painter,
no,
Colt, but like
I
I've
in
seen some
that realm
stuff
I
that
am a
is
bad
just
painter.
I've seen some incredible. Yeah, I mean you're right about the detail, and like the sculpts on those some of those stuff is just beautiful.
It's just
So yeah,
crazy.
and to see them painted up really nice, it's awesome. So there's a reason there's two sides to this. There's the gaming and there's the hobby, and you don't have to be both to enjoy miniature wargaming. So
For sure.
what about you, Randy? What have you been painting?
I got tech done,
Tick, tick.
so I have a playable Bad Batch. There's that.
Yeah, the only Bad Batch.
God, honestly, so much of my hobby related stuff has been like middle management, like printing cards,
Wow,
organizing
so
things in bags. I got a new token tray. Like it's like
Logistics.
the least unfun, but like last tournament, like not the last tournament, the one before, my token tray spilled, and I was like, I'm done. You're done. So I got the
I think
game
I remember
game
picking
gen.
those up.
Yeah, I was about to say I think Colton helped me pick some of those up. I got a Game Genic one, and the lid like comes off and goes under, so it's not a hinge lid anymore. And I can put my range tools, my move tools, and my dice in there. So now I have like token command center in one spot. Is it bigger? Yes, but I'm not digging around in 3 places. So hopefully that works out good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked it when we played over the weekend, or yeah, on Memorial Day. So it looked really good. I've been thinking about getting something new for more compact in mind, so I don't have to have so many bags and everything. So you might send me the link on that so I can get one.
yeah.
So
Bamboo Labs for a sponsor. Completely unrelated, but we gotta throw that in there, right? Yeah, for sure. But I totally know what you mean, Colton. I feel like it's a good change of pace to like genre switch on your hobby. I can't imagine
Yes.
like, hey, I'm a clone player. Now I'm going to be an Empire player. Get to paint some more white armor.
Are you attacking me? Is that?
I didn't start out to attack you, Matt, but halfway through, I saw the opportunity and I pounced. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, like I was excited, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be painting Rebel models again. But now they're adding all these alien heads to Rebels, and it's like, dang it, I ain't trying to do alien heads again right now. I just want normal people faces.
I don't
Yeah.
even think they have enough people faces in the packs to just do people faces, do they?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have some aliens.
Yeah, no,
more.
it's
I think
okay.
I have some that you can have, Randy.
Oh no, it'll be all right. I'll just suck it up. I painted one of the Rhodian sleepers, and they got a pretty good texture to their skin too.
Yeah.
And kind of just color and dry brush. So I like it. Okay. Well, cool. That's been your hobby. Mitchum will show his completed table next episode.
Okay.
Didn't he say it was going to be ready for Big D?
Whoa. Okay. Whoa, we need to back up here. All right,
Not my fault.
Next segment. Let's go.
Oh.
I just painted an entire army for Big D. Come on, cut me some slack. I know that's not going to happen, but yeah, at least I can ask for it.
I love it. All right. Well, cool. So if you don't know, on Jerry's Game Shop, Colton has a series called Tactics Talk, where he takes a topic about the game and kind of does a breakdown of it. Right now, they're going through some faction unit grades. One of my favorite videos I would recommend is his video about staging. Really great setup for the new 2.6 version of the game. And then also, you've probably already seen it. Him and Jerry did a learn to play the game video we mentioned before. That's a good video, definitely, to send to people that are new to this game, especially in this weird phase where we're still waiting on new starter boxes and the rulebook you get has been outdated for years. But yeah, so we just had some different topics we were going to go through, and then kind of just bounce these ideas off Colton. And if a random nugget happens to spawn out of one of our brains that we think might be helpful, we'll add to the discussion here.
Well, also, I mean, I know we're not super big on credentials here, but for everyone that doesn't know, I mean, Colton is the local menace in our local scene. I mean, if he's not winning a tournament, it's only because he didn't show up or he had something else to do. He also placed second in LSO last year, and he is currently ranked top 10 on Longshanks in the world. So, one of the reasons why we came on is because he's, a very talented player. I call him a savant, for like a Legion for savant sometimes, even though he asks a lot of questions in our Discord that we all think he should know. But
I've been better this edition.
I have a theory. That half the time Colton already knows the answer to the question. He's just hoping he's wrong so he can then, I can now break this thing. Like, I think it works this way, but I hope it doesn't, so I can do this game-breaking thing.
So I can exploit it. Yeah, okay.
I'm usually second-guessing what I know and then seeing if it works in a way that it shouldn't.
Like, is this real good? No, it is trash, like I suspected.
I just it's like he's using me for a Q&A, and then he's going to beat me with that information later. And it's just like, okay, dude. Like, I should make him Google just to maybe slow him down a couple minutes. Then maybe I'll have a better chance.
Man, and it just, every time I've played Colton, it feels like my minor mistakes turn into major ones, and it just ends. And I don't know how it happens, but I feel like I play really good, and then I make a couple mistakes, and then at the end of the game, it's 12-2, and I'm like, what happened? We just deployed. What happened? I thought I was going so well, but it's just one of those things. I don't know. He just sees the game really well, and he knows how to take advantage. So yeah, so that's why we're having him on the channel. He's clearly better than me. So, and he, like I said, one of my favorite videos, like Randy was saying, is a staging video on Jerry's Game Shop. Definitely check that out. So yeah, we just like to pick his brain because I'm a bum that can't go X and 1. So
it may seem kind of sad when you said it like that.
Wow, sorry. I didn't mean to really beat myself down here. So I have been playing a lot better recently, but it's yeah.
Yeah, no, you posted like a mid-year your log of all your games, because you log all your games, which is really cool. and
That is cool.
you're up like 20% this year. So
Yeah, I'm right at 50-50 right now. So I was up at like closer to like 60 or 70 at the beginning of the year. And then I kind of took a dive because I was switching back over to clones, so it took me a little bit to get back on my feet. But now that I've been playing Ahsoka and like playing the same list for a little bit, I've been getting over 50% now. So we'll see how it goes, which is a huge improvement from last year. So
yep, you're an ATRT merchant.
you
just running
betcha.
TRTs
I'll
on
take
your
that as a
list.
compliment. That's a compliment.
Triple ATRTs.
But yeah, no, that's good.
All right.
Yeah, let's get on Colton. Sorry.
All right, sorry, I'm done derailing us. Yeah, sorry.
Interrogate me.
Go ahead, Randy.
Interrogate me.
All right, class. All right. So first topic I want to go through here is when turn 0 goes bad. So I'm gonna lay out a scenario. I just played Mitchum, and we kind of talked about this. I won blue player, and
Yay!
we had the flop, and the primary objective was kind of like in the middle of the road, maybe slightly favored me a little bit, but he flopped out bring them to heal and advanced intel. And so me being blue player, bring them to heal was bad for my list.
I was also playing clones.
Yeah, and I had Shadow Collective, and I didn't have like all capoed, vigoed out squads, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm burning one ban here already on advanced intel.
We were both at 11 acts.
Yeah, because so I didn't want to give him that, and then I think I flipped the secondary first, and it went into like sweep and clear, and that was fine. And then the second one, you changed the primary to close the pocket, I think, and then I burned advanced intel, and I think close the pocket was bad situation for me, something like that.
Yeah, I think it flipped into like breakthrough, and then I flopped into, and then I ended on close the pocket because I was fine with sleeping clear. Because there's a chance I was gonna, yeah, because I was thinking, because I had sleeping clear in my secondary deck. So there's a 50-50 chance I could just flip that again, or I could flip another primary that I knew was better for me because he had double buses. And I was like, I think breakthrough is going to be better for him. So that's why I flipped the primary.
So yeah, what's your thoughts on turn 0, and especially when you you win the roll off and then you're flopped into a bad situation?
I'll put it like this. I'm so stuck on Old Legion still and how much worse it used to be. And so that's my first mindset is when we talk Old Legion, like, I'm sorry, but there are probably hundreds of games. I played hundreds of games. There's tons of games that I knew turn 0, they were over. Like, oh, recover the research and I have Boba Fett with recon intel, I'm going to win this game. And that sucked. I hated that about Old Legion. So I think it's a lot of PTSD from the last edition. But I think this edition, even when you get a bad flop, you still have a chance. But the two things that I would say when you get into a bad flop of 2.6, whatever we're on, is you have two questions to ask yourself. The first one is, can I flip something just like Mitchum said that I know is going to benefit me? Okay, if you have you like you said, you had bring them to heal, and obviously you were blue player, so it sucks anyways. Giving yourself something good versus taking away something good from your opponent is sometimes just as good. You can also sometimes make your opponent flip their card. Okay? Never feel bad about doing that because you can really mess up what they want to pull next. The biggest thing is like you got advanced intel against you, you've got a bad secondary against you, you know a bad primary is probably coming next, right? Because if I'm Mitchum, you should be thinking in the opponent's head. So Randy, you're in that situation, you're like, crap, I've got advanced intel and I've got bring them to heal. Well, I need to flip both of these. So in my head, the question is then, well, Mitchum's probably going to flip the primary. So you really need to think about which one of those three do you care about the most. I know advanced intel sucks, but I would say that is the absolute last one I'm flipping a lot of games. I want the primary and secondary to be closer to me because yes, he may get to go last, but I'm more worried about points. In turn 1 against the clone player, I mean, there's only so much shooting that clones have at range 4 in turn 1. So they're not really the go last list. But when I hear clones and close the pocket, I'm going to hope and pray that I ended up with a good secondary. But even if you get the conundrum, the end all be all of all 3 of these things suck against me, you should play in a way that isn't obvious. If you get close the pocket against a clone player, I mean, what do you think the number one thing is to do? You got Mitchum, close the pocket. What do you think you guys need to do to beat a clone player? Like, genuinely, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, what I did was I knew based on the board setup, I basically picked one side of the table and I was like, okay, I'm going to go after this one and I'm going to go after the middle. And I totally gave up one objective. And I was like, I'm not, because it was too open for me. I couldn't hide anybody behind it. So I was like, I can't defend that. I'm going to lose too many guys. So I'm just going to put all my guys in one deployment and then I'm going to split them and keep my clone ball as best I can to control one side in the middle.
And I mean,
And then play for the secondary.
Right. And that's all you have to do is play. I mean, that's the right mentality. So if I'm Randy, I'm saying, okay, well, I know he's going to clone ball it up and he's just going to give me a side. So maybe I throw something different at him. I'm going to pressure his home objective. I'm going to give up the middle and I'm just going to go straight for his home objective. He's either going to have to split up his clone ball or do something else. Sometimes we get so caught up on what sounds good for somebody else that we don't think of how we can make it bad for somebody else. Even if your list isn't great at the objective, you can think about how to make the objective a bad experience for your opponent. Sometimes things are very telegraphed in this game. Like if I hear clones and close the pocket, that's immediately what I thought Mitchell would do. It's just I'm gonna put everything on one side of the table and I'm just gonna walk to the middle. That's how I play clones too. So sometimes it's really thinking like, why do they want this objective and how are they gonna play it? Because sometimes you can just use that information against them. But I'd say in this edition, even worst case scenario, your opponent gets advanced recon, all that stuff. You definitely have to come into it with a positive mindset because I think this edition is very forgiving in terms of your list maybe not being perfect to the objective you're playing compared to what we used to have. I think any game is possible, even worst case scenario, but turn 0 deployment stuff, sometimes it's just about giving up a lead, which I put in our topics for today too, which we can come back to later, but really the best strategy when your opponent gets such a good advantage turn 0 is to play a turn 3 game instead of a turn 2 game that we see a lot of times. So, staging.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to add to that too, just in this conversation. A thing I didn't consider, and I don't know if I could have done anything because he flopped, but I could have played it differently, is beyond just like how the objectives are scored, is the deployment zones when you're going against a list that has a lot of fast scouting units. Because when they can come off the sideboard, you know, they're getting a whole extra range and a half distance, right? I know arc ranges from the opposite side,
Right.
but I don't know them as well when they're coming from the side of the board. So another thing to keep in mind too is the deployment zones. They seem to not matter as much because like, oh, they're massive, but I mean, it definitely plays into I think what you're picking and letting through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt, you want to talk about the next one?
Okay, yeah, sure. This is something I've experienced a lot in the last year or so since 2.6 / New Legion came out. Playing with less acts, especially with something. I mean, clones usually are potentially down acts. Wookiees, we've been experimenting. Kashyyyk, we've gotten up to 12 with some stuff that seems pretty okay. But a lot of times I've been rocking 10, sometimes 9. You know, if I'm doing Yoda, maybe. So if I'm across the table against Jerry, he's got 18 Rebel Act. You know, what's the play there? That's obviously an extreme scenario.
No,
Typically you're running 12, 13.
Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because round 1 seems kind of obvious, right? Because you get all those passes, but then it's round 2. It's where you are we're later. Like I don't necessarily want to delay, right? Because we're mixing it up. But then you're in a situation where if you don't kill enough, right? There's like 6 acts going at the end. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's definitely become a big part of the meta for people to just be like, I have more toys than you, and I'm just gonna throw a bunch of bodies on these objectives. The first thing you can think of is the objectives you're actually putting in your list, like recon intel or not recon intel, advanced. What the heck is the one called where you put a token on your dude?
Recovery research.
No, there's only 4 points.
Intel.
Intel. Thank you.
Yeah. Intercept the
Like that one's great for small act lists. You just put a token on someone good and go between it. But I would say the biggest thing, especially since I've been playing a lot of clones against 14 act lists now, because I've been on that other end where I've been playing a lot of you guys with like 12, 14 act lists. You have to kill even the most unconsequential units. I feel like people see a 14 act list and they see something like loot and they're like, I gotta kill loot. You know, I played the like Brian Bear, my own version of Brian Bear's list, where it's like loot, 3 sleepers, 2 ion speeders. I mean, it's a scary list, and there's so many threats. But when people shoot at Luke, I'm just like, oh, this is the best day ever. Like, he's not gonna die anytime soon. I've got 13 other acts that can all come in and do stuff. I got rebel troopers even. You have to pick the things that you know you can kill, even if it's an MK2, even if it's a little Ewok squad. It's like, I have an elite unit of clones for a reason, and it's to walk up and one-shot something. Yes, you still want to prioritize the things that can actually kill you, but you need to squeeze in, when you can, actual kills on the table. You should be bringing a list, if it has less acts, that can handle a unit at a time. And to your point, Randy, with the pass tokens, I would say that is probably the like top tier skill that Legion players have right now, is learning to play past round 2 with those pass tokens. And not to, keep hitting the dead bird with a stone, but staging is a huge part of that. Like where you set up your army turn 1, going into turn 2, if you put them behind walls where you can pop out and shoot and decide when you want to engage with your opponent, you can use those pass tokens, and it is super annoying. I've only seen it a couple of times by some really good players I've played against, and I'm starting to figure it out, but even I struggle with that. So it's by no means an easy task, but really the short summary way to say it is you need to play a turn 3 game once again. Okay? It's going to be a big topic for me today, is like, if you're playing less acts, you need to slowly pick away at your opponent and then go. You need to slowly pick up a unit at a time, but in a way that you're not risking your models also getting picked up. Because the sucky thing about these 14 12-back lists is they have units that can one-shot your stuff too. And that's why they're so good. It's like, oh, I have a 75-point sleeper still? Yes, I will kill your 116-point clone squad with a shotgun. So you have to play like you don't have cover, play where you don't have to roll dice to save your troops, and come out in one-shot thing after one-shot thing. It doesn't always work like that, but at the end of the day, if you're playing those objectives that are all about how many things do I have on this point, sometimes it's good to just let your opponent walk up, get shot, and then come back round 3 and take those after you've evened out your activations.
Yeah, that's good.
Deal. Okay. Well, so the next thing I want to ask, and this kind of happened in our game too, Randy. When the
Yeah.
we had everything. When the Alpha Strike fails. So an example in Randy and I's game, he deployed a bus and then immediately transported a
It was a Black Sun squad.
Black Sun squad, right? And then so my next activation, I took a 5-man arc squad, deployed it from the side, scouted on, moved, and then was in range 2 and took a shot.
Okay.
2 aims, everything going on. I think I killed 1 Black Sun. That was it.
Typical day in office.
And they hadn't activated yet, right?
Oh.
So his next activation, he comes back and totally obliterates. I think I had the unit leader left.
Yeah.
And so I was, panicking, and I was just like, crap, I just lost an activation. I'm going to be down 10 acts now. Randy is up, big time on this side and everything. And so I kind of started to spiral a little bit. So it's just like, how do you react to that, I guess? How do you overcome that? Or is there sometimes I guess you not alpha strike,
I guess the way that I always approach that thing is Alpha Strike's fine. And I mean, that's why we have the whole advanced recon intel discussion is it's like, it's really annoying when your opponent can go back at the end and two different units. But like I said, I was playing that double ion speeder list. I've played Bad Batch 100 times at this point. Like, I played a lot of things that can come out turn one, go last, hit something. I am always a negative Nancy when it comes to all of my units. And what's in the back of my head is I'm gonna walk up here and I'm gonna take these ARC troopers and I'm gonna shoot these Black Suns and I'm gonna kill like one model. That's what's in the back of my head. And so thinking like that sounds kind of messed up, but it helps me really ask the question, is this worth it? This doesn't mean you don't alpha strike, but if my alpha strike, I always think of like, what is the maximum effectiveness? Okay, well, I send the ARC troopers up and I kill the Black Sun squad. Great. Well, maybe Randy goes first and he has another unit right there. Your arcs have cover. Do you have a place to hide them? Are they sharing tokens with your army, or are they literally just out in the open because you saw something you could shoot turn one? You know what I mean? That's usually what I see some players do is they see an opportunity and they don't think past step one. They're like, I'm going to move out. I'm going to shoot this because I can, not because I should. So for tag strikes, it really should be something safe. I should have my army's engine going around whatever it is that's coming out to tag strike. Like me and Jerry just did a video, or me and Travis just did a video on the channel, and I was playing Iden tag strike. I brought an ISF, Inferno, and Iden, and I killed one model, but every single unit that I used in that tag strike was behind cover. They had their tokens. I had nimble and a dodge. It was not necessarily like a lose-all situation, even after using 3 different units to kill one model. Like, it was awful. But turn 2, where I had my units at, they were all behind cover. They were in a good place to go score objectives. I could shoot other things next turn. So it's always that question that I ask players, is just because you can pop out and shoot something, yes, that's awesome, but you have to think of trading. It's what so many people talk about. That's like a huge topic in Legion, is if I'm going to send out my 80-point ARC trooper, am I sending it into a 35-point slinger squad and maybe I don't kill them and then I just get one shot off the board? Or am I making a good, smart shot against something that I'm going to get good value out of, even if everything fails and I die in return? You always want to trade up. You want to shoot things that are better than your units. You want to maneuver in a way that, hey, you got minimal shots coming back at you, all those types of things. If I walk out a unit to go shoot something just because I can, and there's 16 units on my opponent's side of the table that can shoot back, it may not be worth it. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. So I'm always trying to think, next turn, what is this unit going to be doing? And that's just something you guys can all keep in the back of your mind is, yes, I can come out attack strike, but what is this unit going to do next turn?
Yeah, I same game. I had a bus go up, the quad gun, shot it at his ATRT, did nothing.
Classic.
Tapped the robot, shot again, got 1 wound, did 3 wounds to myself. Classic. And it's just like,
Three's rough.
yeah,
I'm
That's
telling
fair,
you,
man.
we had it all in that game. We had it all.
He played with the same list the night before, and he was like 360 no scoping my troopers with the quad gun. He's like doing like 4 or 5 wounds a shot, so it evens out.
I will say that's another good point, though, is when you tag strike as well, I hate shooting into things that do not minimize dice. Like, even if I only kill 1 Black Sun, to me that's so much better than putting a wound on an ATRT. Because ATRT, I need 5 more. So I almost never, ever shoot something that I don't think I can kill.
Because what you're saying is, no matter how many wounds I put in an ATRT, it's still going to throw the same dice.
Right.
Even if it has 5 wounds versus 1 wound left. Yeah,
I want to take your models off the table, even if that means I have to shoot 4 different things.
Yeah.
I do not
that
want
way
to
there's
see
still
people...
some form of attrition.
Yes.
Even if it's not a unit. Yeah.
When people shoot my vehicles turn 1, I'm like, please keep doing that.
Interesting.
But I digress.
Okay. Well, we kind of just talked about it a little bit, but round 1 engagement. like any tips for that, especially if it's like you are a short range list versus a long range list, or if you're the long range list and you see a
No,
bunch of
yep.
shoots. What's that movie where they like
Get out.
get out? Yeah, they're
It's
just
like,
sprinting at you
it's
across
sleeper
the
cells
board.
just running.
Yeah, like yeah. What's your thoughts on that, or like big mistakes maybe you see people making in round one engagements a lot,
Um,
other than overcommitting to their alpha strike and kicking their own butt?
And I know we've talked a lot about staging too, and that's probably
it's a different type of staging though. So I'll
yeah.
start with long range list first because I feel like people kind of have really figured out the short range melee list. It's not complicated. I'm not trying to be mean either. It's not complicated. The long range list, if you're playing like range 3, 4, you need to really, really consider looking to win the secondary. If you can. If not, you need to meet the same points and go for kill points like old Legion. Sometimes you can kill enough stuff that you can come in turn 4 or 5 and come score, but I've realized it's not as different as I thought it was back in the day. Like I'd play double bounty, triple snipers, triple mortars, triple shores, and it'd be like key positions, and there's no way I'm scoring that middle point until turn 6. And that's kind of the same way now. If you're playing those gun line lists, God bless you, good luck. Um, you cannot move up turn 2 and try to go sit on objectives. You will die, and you will lose the game. You need to be old school Legion, and you need to maximize your ranges, especially if you have range 4. You need to put the unit leader to max range 4 on another unit, and you need to shoot. And you cannot just throw units at the blender. When you're playing those gunline lists, sometimes a move that we don't want to talk about is moving backwards then shooting. That's that simple. I will say the really hard part about this is because you can now move the full prong of the movement tool, you can't really walk away from getting shot back. But since there's so many range 2 units, it's sometimes better to just, if you're playing like bunker assault, never go for your opponent's bunker. Just shoot everything off the table, hope you have a secondary you can compete with, and try to win on kill points or win off the secondary. And I think clones get away with this mostly because the range 3 shooting is fine and they have, like shotguns and stuff. But, if you're the poor soul that still plays range troopers, you need to stay in range 4. You do not need to move up into range 3. Don't risk losing models. You hate attrition. So I think trying to play the game like other people do with a gun line is just not going to work, even though unfortunately it may favor those short range lists a little more. You have to play the game a little more careful. You can't just move up and hope that your saves keep you alive. You need to play the attrition game and slowly kill more models than your opponent does. Then hopefully you have enough time or you've done it well enough that rounds 3, 4, or 5, you can start moving up because you've gotten yourself a good lead before things. So, example, Black Suns are coming at you, you're on your home objective on Bunker Assault, they keep getting closer, you move the MAC distance to be contesting your objective while shooting. And sometimes that's moving backwards, and that's okay. For short range lists, I mean, if you don't have a shot and you know you're not going to be able to move and shoot, pre-measuring for round 2 is huge. Like, I'm going to double move something here, and then I'm going to check if I can move and shoot something. And if I can't, I'm going to put something behind a wall. I'm going to put something behind cover. I'm going to put something next to my commander. I'm going to do anything I can to minimize the amount of damage that you can do to me while I close the gap. The only reason you usually don't care about this is if your opponent is playing a gun line. Just go sit on the objective and die all you want. And if you do it right and you use your utility and you keep your models alive, yes, your opponent may start killing more models than you, but if you score a bunch of points before they have a chance to score any, it's not going to matter. So I think we see a lot of the short range stuff, but for the most part, you're just looking to get maximum board control ASAP. That's it. You want as many objectives as you can get. You want to score as early as you can, and you want to one shot things, move Black Sun up, shotgun kill this, shotgun kill that. Totally fine. But gunlines have it harder, but you guys can play the game. It is not a one-sided affair. and I've learned to accept that fact. As I was definitely the first of many that was like, nope, this game is not going to work for gun lines. You can play the game, you have to play it differently though.
This is all great stuff.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. Even if you have a gun line list, do you still think you need to be bringing a melee linebacker? Like at least one guy that can hang in melee.
You have so many points in Legion now that I kind of blame it on you if you don't. You know what I mean? And if you want to play all gun line, that's great. Go for it. But I think that's any tabletop game on the planet that if you do all of one thing, your list is going to lose against certain other things. And I think right now in Legion, if you don't have a backliner, like that's gonna suck. I think there are people that can do it. Like it kind of just depends on like who you brought as your backliner. Like Callus is a great example of like you're 75 points, I can just go tie someone up for a turn right now. But I'm all about force user gun lines. That's who I've always been. I don't think you have to have one, but you not having options in your list building, that's true for any list. If you brought all melee, you're going to be like, man, I wish I had some shooting. If you brought all shooting, you're going to be like, man, I wish I had some melee. So you don't need like 3 force users to keep your gun safe. You can bring something as simple as 75-point callus to tie something up. But I think there's objectives that allow you to do that without being worried as much about linebackers and things like that. So
Yeah.
I would always recommend people bringing one because I just think that's a healthy sign of a list. But at the end of the day, you've got 1,000 points. You can probably squeeze at least one half decent melee unit in there, even if it is still shooting.
Yeah, I agree. I would say it's helpful too with the 2.6. There's more units that have a better melee now.
I mean, clone infantry, shotguns, and melee. Great example.
Yeah. Cool. Matt, you want to take this next one?
Yes. So I've had some games in the past where I might have not been listening to your previous steps and charged with my Wookiees. And I've lost some noble Kashyyyk warriors on the way in. So I'm behind. So what kind of tips do you have when you're a little bit behind in the game?
Okay, just Wookiees in general right now, or
No, I mean you can give Wookiee tips if you want. I'll take Wookiee tips, but I mean you can do it in general too.
So proud, stubborn people.
So I see this all the time, and like Mitchum said, not to break his heart, but when he says, I feel like when I make a little mistake, Colton makes it a big mistake. It's always those little things that I think the average player sees happen, and they just go into desperation mode. It's like, oh man, my Wookiee squad just got one shot by the Black Suns. I'm gonna lose. I cannot tell you guys how many times that I have played a game where like turn one something awful happens and I'm like, that's probably the game. But then somehow 5 turns later I'm like, cool, I won. And my mentality is pretty simple, which is just keep playing and don't let it like affect your emotions so much that you can't focus on what you were trying to do. It is an emotional game, whether people want to say that or not. Like, we are absolutely affected by what happens, being the man children that we are. And so we want our little toys to do what we want them to do. And so sometimes we have to like take a breather and be like, it's fine. Just have fun. And so like, especially in the Wookiee case, I would just say like, okay, I lost this. I know I'm behind. What can I do to not continue being behind? I think a lot of times we think like, oh, how can I turn this around and how can I even it out? And it's like, no. Just don't get more behind. Just let him make a mistake because that's usually what has to happen. If you're playing from behind, like it's very hard to suddenly catch back up because you did something right. It does happen. It's usually you're waiting for your opponent to make a mistake and even a minor mistake, and then you capitalize on the same thing. And I'll say with Wookiees in general, like the number one thing I see is they're like, oh yay, if I lose a model, I get to do a speed one move, so I'll just shove everything in front of my opponent and I'll get all this free movement. And then people forget that people are now throwing 12 dice with 2 aims on 75-point sleeper cells. There's dice in the game to kill Wookiees very efficiently. And so sometimes, even though the game says we should play them one way, we have to be a little more careful and play them a different way, especially against certain people we play. Like, I know you played against Aaron Matt in one of those last tournaments, and when it's all armor, it's like, what do I even do with this? And so those are some of the best games, is because it's like, man, there really is no clear path to victory because this is just kind of unfair. But those are honestly the games that I enjoy the most because I'm like, this is like a puzzle without 6 of the pieces I'm supposed to have, and I gotta fix it. So it's really just about keeping a positive mindset at the end of the day. I would say that's the number one reason that I beat even you guys sometimes is it's just like, I messed up. It's Colton. I lost. It's just it's a normal mindset, but if you can ever get past your own self and your own like mistakes of like judging yourself for doing something wrong and just kind of being like, hey, you know what? I could probably just turn this around if I just don't lose a whole nother unit or I don't, make another big mistake like that. The game is about dice and luck and chance. So believe it or not, there's a lot of times you can just crawl back in by rolling dice until something goes your way.
I kind of want to piggyback off that as well. I know, and I'm going to keep going back to our game, Randy, because again, we had everything that happened. But when you are done with turn 0 and you figure out what missions you're going to play, what secondaries you're going to play, and what advantages you're going to play, I would say most players kind of generally form, or at least I do, form a plan in their head. They're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do to score the most objectives. I'm going to go after these. I decided I'm going to go after this half of the board, and like my plan is to do this X, Y, Z. Like you come up with a grand strategy for how you think the game's going to go, right? And so often I think, and this has happened to me multiple times when I played you, Colton. I will be doing my plan and I'll be executing it, and then all of a sudden you like see something and then you delete one of my units. And I'm like, what the heck? Like that totally messes up my whole plan that I had in my head. Now I have to react to what you just did to try to level out the scales. And so I get too reactionary and too careless, and then that causes, things to go downhill. I think in Randy and you and I's game, my plan was to stay on that side of the board. I took a couple risks in putting my ARC troopers out and losing them early. And then I was like, okay, well, I still have 2 more left. So I hid them behind walls, knowing that they were going to go towards the middle point, which they did. And then I was like, if I can get the bus down enough, I can play Ahsoka's 1 pip turn 2. And then she can kill it and she can go in and kill some other things. So like I kind of like reformed or modified my plan like halfway through deployment, but it still kind of stayed the same grand strategy I had. So I would say, stick to your plan that you came up at the beginning of the game. Don't be overreactionary and try to level the playing field in one activation, because that's just not going to happen. It's a 5-turn game for a reason. You're not going to win the game on the first turn, because you can't score. But, stick to your plan, stick to your guns. You came up with a plan and the reason, just stick to it. And then later in the game, that's where you can become a little bit more reactionary and kind of try to get back, with things that your opponent took you early and everything. So just stick to your guts. I mean, you came up with a plan for a reason. Your plan included playing to your army's strengths. When you start to get away from that is when you start to lose games. That's what I've found personally. So
Yeah. I think another thing that I think causes people to panic, I guess, is when a lot of people theory craft everything off of dice averages. I always see people like saying like, "Oh, I'm on the calculator, like I'm going to get this many, but averages is over time. Like sometimes round 1, which I just experienced, the dice don't go your way. And when that happens and you get the wrong side of the attrition early, like it can be very hard not to panic in that moment or to, like, but shooters got to keep shooting, right? for me.
Correct. Correct.
You gotta take that shot.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's good. Cool. All right, so I thought we could round the discussion out here, going around the horn, and everyone just talking about either a favorite tech trick they have in the game. It doesn't have to be good. It could just be something you enjoy doing. I know we all used to enjoy you serve your master well, one of my Black Sun units, and making them shoot the other one, but that's
Tragic.
gone.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Praise the aboleth. It's gone. Yeah. So yeah. Does anyone have a good one? I can do one of my favorites.
Go ahead.
It'll be. I really like using Garsax's one pip because 90% of players don't know what it does. But you dump 2 suppression and 4 observations on a commander or a operative, and then Garsaxon gets 2 aims. But I'm rarely ever shooting that unit with Garsaxon. I'm setting up a big shot with Black Suns on it because they're coming around. They've got their 2 aims. They've got 4 observation tokens. If I don't kill the thing, they're going to have 3 suppression on it. That's going to at least make... It's probably going to make them lose an action. Even if it's a Jedi, they've got to roll something off probably to get both their actions. So it's a good setup. I like it. It's a fun little trick. So I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Colton. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm still thinking.
Rex is my boy, and when you play Rex, a lot of times you have to dig to the absolute bottom of the barrel to find anything you can. And it's better now that his one pip you can technically shoot out of melee, but this is like maybe one of the first tricks I ever learned in Legion, and I still freaking love it to this day. And that is you can't base contact somebody if there's nowhere to base. And so with Rex, a lot of times what I'll do now is, now that Boyle exists as well, and he's usually with Rex, the Guardian and stuff, is I will circle Rex with the bases of a different unit, and I will prevent any option of melee with Rex. Doesn't matter as much now that he can shoot out of it with the fire support card, but it gets really annoying when Rex just gets one shot by like Darth Vader. So keeping just like, even you just need 4 bases, and if you can just keep 4 bases of clone troopers or commandos or whatever you got arcs around Rex, it's like you cannot touch me in melee unless you're going to force push me out, then melee me. And at that point, it's like, thank you for using your 40-point upgrade to kill my crappy commander. I appreciate that. So I like keeping my Rexy boy safe, canonically speaking, through a swarm of bodies.
I like that melee blocking.
It's the Rex bedtime story is the name of the trick, if we all implement it.
Yeah. Call me Captain's still nasty in the middle of the clone ball.
Call me Captain is still very good. It's still very good. Let me see. Okay, one of mine, it's not really a thing anymore, unfortunately. But it was back when I was running Rebels, and it was with Ahsoka and Old Man Boba. And you could play a simple man, his one pip, and you can give the order to Ahsoka. Excuse me. You give the order to Ahsoka, which you give her a speed 1 move, which is really nice because she gets a dodge because she gets defend 1, and she gets a speed 1 move to move into someone. She has charge. I don't know if that used to work that way or not, but anyway, so she could move into melee to get safe. And he had independent standby, so he would have a standby. And usually, if he's at range 1 of someone, he would be at range 1 with Ahsoka. So he would be in flamethrower range because they're both being melee. So then you could use Ahsoka's like force push or something to trigger his standby so he could flamethrower someone. So she would get the activation. She would immediately go. She would already be in combat, so she would dodge swing and then force push someone. He would flamethrower the unit as well. Now, again, all this doesn't work anymore, but I got it to go off a couple times, and it felt really, really good throwing like a bunch of red dice. I think that more
Which is like my trick now is scout 2,
my whole
move,
my
shoot.
whole army scouts now. So I think now recently I've discovered that 5s and a clone captain squad is really nice because 5s gets the order and he coordinates to the clone captain, gets a dodge, which they can both,
Yep.
which you could share. As far like I've always been a big fan of on again at Rebel Ahsoka because I played her the most. Is I will do I'll play her 2-pip. I try to play her 2-pip before I play her 1-pip because I can guardian something. Try to get that wound on her that triggers tenacity, and then I'll play her 1-pip, burst in, and then I'm throwing 10 dice, pierce 2 because it's 3 red, 2 black, and then I would have 3 dodges, so it would be 5 white. Search and crit, I'd have 3 dodges, sometimes 4 if I could get Leia to throw a dodge on her and everything. So those are just a couple, nothing too like, gotcha or like gamey or stuff like that. It just stuff like that really feels good to me. So yeah.
I had this really cool trick where I took arcs and Wookiees and then sent them like a missile. But no, that's not actually a cool tactic. I played a lot of Yoda, which they nerfed a lot of Yoda's cool tricks with guidance. But if I play Chewie Yoda, there are some cool stuff. Obviously, the initial turn when you play the card, Yoda will be like vacuumed out at range 1. So if he's locked in melee with somebody, you play the card, he immediately gets yoinked out of melee. So you get a free kind of disengage. You could then, move Chewie around, place Yoda in melee with somebody else on Yoda's turn, swing, guidance Chewie again to have him move, and then Yoda gets yoinked out of that melee too. So there's Yoda's obviously bigger brain than me, but there's like all sorts of cool plays. Obviously with guidance nerf, they took away my out of activation attacks, which does really stink for Wookiees if you're listening to this AMG. But yeah, this little stuff like that is cool because there's so many plays with Yoda that you can make, especially if you're doing like a Chewie Yoda combo, that you usually can come up with something that your opponent wasn't thinking about. Even if that's just, riding Yoda in and dumping 6 suppression on somebody with Jedi Mind Trick or something, or force pushing. I think Yoda's got enough tricks, especially if you combine it with something like Chewie, that you can really kind of get to a spot, do something really weird, in and out of melee, cycle the command cards, all that cool stuff. So, about you, Randy?
Yeah, Yoda's awesome.
I wonder if you can do some like destroy enemy base playing with Yoda and like Chewie and just like sprint past their whole army to the one guy they left back there.
Yeah,
and just blow that base up real fast.
If you could get like triple move distance from Chewie, you could like double move with Chewie. Then on Yoda's activation, you could like guidance Chewie in. Then you could like force push someone out, suppress someone else, and then hit them with the blast, put force suppression on somebody.
Yeah.
So you could probably take a back point if you get close enough.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Guys, I don't play.
Randy's got some bus
tricks.
Randy's got bus tech. He's always really good about his positioning. He'll do the power slides on the buses, then deploy the black suns behind.
Yeah, your wall play with the buses is really, really good.
Yeah, he's always crazy taxi with the buses.
I don't know if you could build a list without double buses.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can either.
I'll actually give some real tactics from Randy because he's not sharing them. Your speeder bike tactics with swoops. I feel like you're onto some stuff really with like scoring and like holding stuff back, playing certain objectives. Really, you had it set up with your one list where you were like, I'm going to get to 12. I'm playing this objective by turn 4, and kind of regardless of what the opponent was doing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily a tech trick, but I mean, bikes are good at objectives where you can just contest and don't have to secure, right? And so I think the main thing is just making sure they don't get hurt the round they can't score anything. And then sending them out there at the end of rounds when you know they're going to score. And then if they die at the start of the next round, so be it. I got my point out of them. And if you got the objectives in a way, like my plan for that list I played was I'm going to get to 12 by the end of round 4. Like as long as the secondary doesn't go terrible and I drop my scanner, like I'm gonna get 4 points every round.
Yeah.
Things like that. But I did have a fun thing in my game with Jerry where he was gonna come in with Din and melee Cad Bane, but Cad was in between two close pieces of terrain, and I took some swoops and put them on both sides of Cad, so there was just no spots to come into melee. he did get him eventually, like on the next round, but delaying Din for a round was that was good. Didn't let him get on a point, so I'll pat myself on the back for that one.
Big brain.
But yeah, I don't think bikes are trash, but they definitely need the right objectives to play.
They certainly dominated the early meta, but
which unfortunately I think it's like 50-50 on objectives they're pretty good at, and then 50 then the objectives aren't great.
And there's not room for error too, because if you put it in the wrong spot, someone's gonna walk up with a sleeper cell and actually delete it, regardless of what. If you stacked your cool dodges on there for your speeder bike, you're just getting tick cut.
Or something random might happen. It's like where you leave them really far back and you play that guy that decided to bring the bombardment card randomly, and it's just okay, great, I lost a bike. Now they're throwing half their dice. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But okay, cool. Well, I think that was great, Colton. I hope you take each one of these things and make a nice video out of them for the channel, just expand it out.
I gotta do 4 more. I'll do Shadow Collective, I guess. I gotta do 4 more factions report cards.
Yeah, they are a force in the game that is playable. They will most factions are just playing forces anyways.
They will eventually get a video.
It's okay. I already know it's good. Anyways. Okay, cool. Well, hey, we gotta continue on with the command card Tower of Power. Play that imaginary sound in your head. Bad branding. I never got one for the segment.
Building the tower.
Yeah. Industrial equipment moving in, backing up sounds, all that good stuff. Yeah. So, our dear beloved Matt here is entering the brave new world of Empire and has decided to do so in the storm of a blizzard. And he's going to be playing some Blizzard Force. And so we're going to keep rolling on some Battle Force cards here with the Blizzard Force cards. I guess I'll do the screen share thing. Yeah.
Before we go into Blizzard, once we get it up, I was going to give Colton the opportunity to make a change. As is his right as guest on the command Tower of Power.
What? What do I get to change? That's too much power.
Whatever you want.
Is Attack of the Clones too high?
If there's a position of a card that you strongly disagree with, and now remember, it's only relative to the other cards currently on the list.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whoa! Why is coordinated fire all the way down there?
Okay.
Disrespectful.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh! And sabotage communications? What are y'all doing? That's so mean. Why do you have push above sabotage communications? Fix that.
Pick one.
Sabotage communications.
Okay.
I would put that like Reptilian Rampage, Attack of the Clones, Assault to the Fall.
Oh, it's above Attack of the Clones.
I would put that at 8. Or sorry, 9. I would move Attack of the Clones down 1 for sure.
Okay. So give us your
Sabotage Comms is the Rebel 1 pip, right? That only lets you do 1 order.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
when. Okay.
That's
when was the last time you brought that card?
Last time I played Rebels. That wasn't
really.
That wasn't Luke. Yeah. Any Bad Batch list, I'm bringing that to minimize order control. It's just such a good card when you know what your opponent is doing. Sometimes it can be lesser in this edition, but like if I know my opponent's playing like Echo Base, for instance, that's just a massive middle finger. If I know my opponent brought something like Attack on the Clones, that's a massive middle finger. I mean, it literally counters most of those cards. It is the end all be all of Rebel stupidity. and I think it has absolutely fallen off in this edition. But I mean, there's no other card in the game besides like maybe two others that mess with your opponent's stuff. So if you know what you're doing and you know what your opponent brought, you can really jack up their game plan. Like you think of um like Vader's new ways to motivate them, even just taking one order away, you greatly minimize whatever that game plan is that they had in mind. So just reducing that can be devastating in so many ways.
Okay, we're gonna let you do your thing, obviously. But do you think this is like? I don't feel like I get value out of this card because maybe I'm bad and I don't know what time they're gonna play the card. Because
It's kind of
I've been
my
gotten by it before. I'm
kind
not
of my
saying
take too.
I've been gotten by it before, but
Mhm.
it's because they knew what I was gonna play. So it's like they got me on my 3-pip where I'm trying to put 4 orders out or
Exactly.
something like that. So that's kind of where I'm at.
That's my thing too. Is that if like the most opportune time seems to be round 1 to do that, and I don't know if I want to burn a 1-pip in round 1.
No, that's completely fair. I mean, I would say it's a great late game card to you, just because you always want both your 1-pips. But I probably wouldn't bring it as much anymore if you brought like 2 heroes, for instance. Like if you brought Lando and Luke, or 2 rebels, I'm not bringing that card as much. But I mean,
I think
like,
that's probably why we had it so
I
low.
think
Is because
that was our argument, is that Rebels
yeah,
is so hero hammer
I
heavy.
definitely think it's better than like Push, for instance. I think that's disrespectful.
That's fair. I'm good with moving it up that far. Maybe not into the top 10, but we can move it above Push.
Assault, just those generic cards, I always think of it like this, like yes, you can only give it to an operative or special forces, but that card should automatically be better than every generic pip in the game. Because if I'm playing a list, I am never bringing a generic pip unless I have to. There's no reason to diminish returns because I chose to list build in a way that has no synergy. With Sabotage Comms, I maybe have some lists that I build that I'm like, I don't need this, or rather, I can't use this. But if I'm just bringing a generic 1-pip versus Sabotage Comms, I may have just maybe not made the best list if I genuinely don't have another 1-pip to pick from.
Huh.
okay.
That's a good take.
All right.
That's
I'm a
offensive to
D1 hater.
Wookiees, but I don't have any.
That's a fair argument. We've moved
We'll
Sabotage
allow it.
Comms up to 18.
Sith will
We're gonna
rule,
put
merciless
Push. Yeah.
munitions, delaying tactics is fine, air support's fine. Yeah, all the bombardment ones suck. I agree with that. Synchronized defection, turning the tide. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. What else is on there? See, ambush is just kind of crazy. 4. Fear, surprise, intimidation. I am no Jedi. I love I am no Jedi. That's bias, but I'll accept that.
Same.
Lying in wait's good, hold any cost. Yeah, those are fine. Like I said, I think ploy is maybe a little too loved because Randy's in this group, but I'll accept it.
I think it got more love too for like Bad Batch play and
Yeah,
Rebels.
Yeah.
It's like I said though, it's better than a generic 1-pip in my opinion. Anything that causes you to bring a specific card is a good sign of list building. I think the 1-pip, 2-pip, and 3-pip are meant for players that are getting into the game. And yes, there are some lists that will have one of those 3, but if you ever have more than one generic card in your hand, I feel like you're probably shorting yourself of some good plays.
You're saying Wookiees need more command cards, is what you're saying.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
If they had actual cards for their faction, I would.
Because the ones I
play
have
them.
aren't great either.
No, they're terrible. Yeah. No, I
But
like
you can
that.
bring
I like the rest
you
of
can
those,
bring
though.
2 Wookiee chieftains now.
Yeah, I can play standing orders turn 1 and get full order control.
I can't argue with covering fire. Or wait, what's the other one? Covering fire and yeah, I can't argue with that anymore because it just takes too long to build up, and there's too many dice in the game that can just one-shot stuff. So
I think the other thing too is that Core seem to make so many dodges for themselves now. Anyways,
yeah,
on
that's
Rebels.
completely fair too.
Yeah.
It's nice when you have
Yeah.
like sleepers to like move up, shoot, and then pass one to the sleepers and stuff. But it's like you kind of need to not bring the 13-point shotgun, and you should probably just bring the 13-point shotgun. So go figure.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I accept the rest of these.
Plus, the stuff should be on the table before your core shooting anyway.
Yeah,
So.
like Randy said, the turn one play is very different now. So
Yeah.
even things like sabotage columns have definitely taken a little pinch smack to the face.
Yeah.
But-
Alrighty.
Right, cool.
Okay.
Let's get snowlicious here.
This is good because Colton's historically played some Blizzard before. So
I may have played way too much of this in the last edition.
Are we starting at the 3 or the 1?
Do the 3, it's boring.
yeah.
Okay.
Do the 1, it's the most boring. I like.
Matt, can you read these good enough?
Yeah, which one do you want me to read first? I can read them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
I'll let you
one.
read, yeah.
Okay. Unrelenting Fire gives orders.
We're doing
Go
the
ahead.
one.
Okay. Unrelenting Fire gives orders to 2 units. This round, each enemy unit cannot remove more than 1 suppression during its rally step. I'm ready for Colton to crush my dreams. I actually kind of like this one because it's a 1 pip that gives 2 orders.
That's pretty good.
It kind of limits their suppression removal. Not that people are necessarily removing a ton of suppression, but even if they do get a good roll, they don't get to.
I remember when Colton first played this card against me back when Blizzard Force first came out. This is back in Legacy Legion.
I don't remember
there
this.
Was
so please tell.
there was a condition where if you weren't touching a piece of terrain, then you also couldn't remove suppression, or you couldn't rally or something.
At the end of the round, you didn't get
hostile environment. Yep.
Yeah, hostile environment. I can't remember exactly what
PTSD.
it was. But I still have nightmares from this because I was playing. I think you made Obi-Wan panic off the table because I could only remove 1 suppression, and I was near a board edge. And this is back where they moved to the closest board edge, and he just panicked off the table, and it was like, what is happening?
Man, that Colton guy seems like a jerk.
He put so much suppression on me the first turn, and then he played this second turn, and I had no idea what it did. And he just looked at me. He's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, it can't be that bad." Like, I've heard about it, but I'm one of the players where like I have to see it happen for it to be, because I'm very visual. And he started doing it, and I was like, "Oh." And I realized too late what was happening. And I was like, "Oh no!" It was like the Punisher meme. No.
For Mitchum, it was the worst day of his Legion life. For Colton, it was Tuesday.
yeah. It was.
I think I played Jerry one time, like the first time I played against this card, and like he was doing some cool split fire tricks, right? Because all their guns have suppressive, right? So they can hand out 4 suppression.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I think definitely if you bring them to heal, this card's value goes way up.
Yeah.
Probably also really good when you're playing secure objectives. I don't know so much on contest ones. But I mean,
I think it's pretty good. I don't know where it lands. I think so. I'm looking probably worse than lying in wait.
I do like that.
I literally was gonna say. I was literally gonna say put it under lying in wait.
Yeah. I think it might be.
It's the summary of this card is it's good no matter what list you bring because it's Blizzard Force. It's fantastic if you plan for it. The first time that I went to LSO and I hadn't played against Blizzard yet, the guy literally played that 3-pip turn 2, came up, suppressed everything, split fire everything. I was like, oh, he only killed a couple models, played that card turn 2. I think I had 4 units panic. If you play the right list if you bring a suppressive list with that card, you can just deny your opponent an entire turn of playing the game. And I think of like clone players even where it's like, oh, I'll be fine. I have courage too. And then it's like, oh, I won't be fine because I'm only going to get to remove 1 suppression. So any card that says you never get to roll more than 1 dice is brutal in some cases. This is the type of card that wins you games by itself in the right situation.
If you plan for it, which is the big thing.
2 units, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just any units you want.
Yeah.
That's very big. So
I think another thing to keep in mind is like making people drop their objective tokens on the secondaries, like not just round 1 objective play, or primary objective play on that. So I think sometimes we forget because they do that if they have to rally and then they're still panicked. But I mean, if they can only remove one, you can definitely arrange that to happen.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind. Okay. Take us into the barrage, Matt.
Okay. Overwhelming Barrage. It's a 2-pip. For 2 units, once this round at the end of an allied commander unit's activation, that unit may make an attack using the weapon below. It is 4 to infinite. It's 4 black. It's Beam 1, Blast, Critical 3, Immune Deflect, and Suppressive.
So this is the
my
card.
impression of the. Oh, I was gonna say my impression of this card was just like this is a thing for Commander Vader to do on round 1 when he's just walking up the board.
Yeah,
but
it's a free attack potentially.
Yeah,
This may have legit been. I hated this card for so long. This card makes me angry just from what it used to do. Turn 1 in Old Legion, getting 8 black dice with no cover and suppressive was just like a hair pulling out experience.
Yeah.
Now it's like Randy said, turn 1 you can do it. There's 2 main negatives. Is number 1 you're playing a 2-pip round 1, so you kind of are going first. Congratulations. I think this is above and beyond the best barrage card in the game still by far. I mean, 8 black dice is still 8 black dice, but you kind of have to wait for your opponent to put 2 things next to each other where you can see them. So a good player is going to make you essentially put your commander in a stupid spot, and if you're doing it with Commander Vader, you're probably playing the wrong card turn 1 anyways, so meh. But if you got like Veers or something like that, this is fine, but it's still a very meh card just because of all the other downsides with it now. But 2 units, 8 black dice, turn 1, never hurt anyone's feelings.
The best thing on this card is the fact that you can give it to 2 units, because the other barrage cards you have to give it to a commander.
Yeah.
Which feels bad. So, and yeah, again, like 4 black dice and then beam 1, so another 4 black dice, blast, critical 3. I mean, it's got all the keywords. It's really nasty, and it's suppressive, which is what Blizzard Force wants to do anyway. Is it better than Unrelenting Fire? Yes.
I like it. What is that push at 20? I'd put it like right above push because I mean it's literally push with an effect.
So it's not better than Unrelenting Fire.
Where's Unrelenting Fire?
Put it under.
Which one's Unrelenting Fire?
That's the one we just went over.
That's the one we just did.
Oh, my bad. I forgot what it was called. Yes, no, I don't think it's better.
Oh, okay.
I like your argument there of it's push with an effect.
Just push, but you get to do suppressive and maybe kill 8 units. I mean, that's a way better version.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll put it above sabotage. Let's go.
Hey, you better chill.
Yeah,
let's go.
We just argued about this.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's free. It's just it's tough to maybe pull off.
I think too. Like a lot of us have scars from this card back in Legacy Legion. I'm pretty sure. Like as Colton said, I mean, this card makes me angry, and yeah, I feel the same way. But I think in 2.6, it's not what it was. But I think it's hard to heal those wounds that Blizzard did to all of us. And
anything with Blast back then was
old Legion was brutal because they'd be playing the KG Range 4 game and then they'd pop this on you too. It's like, cool. I'm wanting to stay at distance because going up is dumb in this scenario, but also I'm getting barraged this entire time. I can't really do
it.
Yeah, Blizzard Force was the opposite of what most people did. It was like, I'm coming to you and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one.
No, not everybody doing that.
Yeah. 3 units. It's a 3-pip. When a core trooper unit is issued an order with this card, until the end of the round, it gains Spur, and its weapons gain Suppressive.
So again, here's a theme.
Yeah, it's suppressive. So that's and Spur's good, like Spur. I think this is a good card to pair with like Vader, obviously Commander Vader, because you're getting around the the negatives of Spur because they aren't going to be panicked. They're going to be suppressed probably. You can hit them with that, take the suppression, get the move. I think a negative is you're probably not giving it to 3 core troopers because you need to get an order to your commander. And then so if you're playing Vader, Vader gets an order. So, and you're also not playing a Vader card on this
I
chart.
do like that all these cards are just units. They're not specific, which is really nice. I don't think I ever realized that before.
We're back to back with this is a better version of Assault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this card has one purpose in my mind, and it's pretty much how I played Blizzard Force, which is you play this card. I guess in this version of Legion, maybe you could play it turn 1, so you could, like what Matt said, give an order to Vader and 2 to your heavy response team, so you can spur them onto the table and shoot something at range 4. But really, whenever you play it, you play this card and then you play that 1 pip. You do so much suppression when you split fire with that range 4. The ultimate flex with Blizzard Force is you play that card, give it to your 2 heavy response units. It's totally fine to not give it to 3 different things. If you have a Snow Trooper with a Flamer, that's also amazing because now you can make them a speed 2 unit instead of a speed 1 unit with steady, and that's just disgusting. But you essentially, at range 3, split fire the normal HRU's weapons, and then both heavy weapons at different things, and you have handed out 6 suppression with 1 shot. You do that twice, that's 12 suppression, plus everything else you're shooting with, then you play that 1 pip, and it's just like 3 middle fingers popped up in front of your face.
Yeah.
So I don't think the card itself is that crazy, but the potential within Blizzard Force is pretty cool. But it should be no lower than whatever the heck Assault is.
Problem with Assault. Assault's at 10. You don't like where Assault's at now is the
Oh
problem.
my, I did not know Assault's at 10. My bad.
And again, I mean, bring them to heal. I mean, this is the perfect card to play if you have bring them to heal on the secondary because you can.
Yeah.
This
This
is
is
a
a-
good setup for Unrelenting Fire too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is like we were talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it here? You go. Is Debark for Ground Assault better than Mechanized Incursion?
No.
Probably not. Is it better than Unrelenting Fire? I know they kind of have synergy. If you had to take one, Colton, if both of them are on an island, you can only save one.
Oh, Unrelenting Fire is crap on an island. Which one's more beautiful?
He's like, oh god, I haven't played Legion on an island in forever.
All right, I'll put it like this. There's so many 1 pip. It's in Blizzard Force, so it's different. Even within Blizzard Force, you have Vader's 2 1 pips, which I would say are better. But I would argue that this 3 pip is better for the purposes of suppression. Like it has a maximum value for 3 units, while that 1 pip affects your entire opponent's army. But that's only affecting it if you did this part right. The rolling 1 less dice on suppression doesn't matter if you only gave everything 1 suppression last round. So that's kind of my thought process. Is it's a little harder to get value out of the 1 pip than this 3 pip. This is just, hey, I have a free extra speed if I need it. I can move speed 3 onto the table and shoot something round 1. Yes, sign me up.
This might be better than Attack of the Clones because, like, if you have this, if you're bringing Blizzard Force, you're bring them to heal. So there's an automatic like ban that your opponents are going to do with this because of this card. Like there's an automatic like secondary that your opponents are trying to actively not play against you solely because of this card.
You
And I
said
think
better
for
than
that,
Attack
I
of the
mean-
Clones.
Huh?
You said better than Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but 9.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, it's not better than Reptilian Rampage, no way. But like,
No.
if you can actively make your opponent do something before you even start playing the game because of the potential of this card, then yeah, I think that deserves to be in the top 10.
Yeah. It has Attack of the Clones is remove a suppression or get a surge, which is great. This lets
It's
you
better
either
now.
move. Yeah. This card lets you move faster, add suppression, give good order control. I mean, it does 3 things. So
Yeah.
on a face value, it might just genuinely have more.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee.
Do we
a
not get
surge.
any points for it being limited to a force?
I don't think so, because like
Nah.
all of these battle forces are better than other things at times because of these cards. Like why not just? I mean, sure, yes, you can bring 4 bikes. Is the real thing back in the day, but I mean, I don't think that's fair to the card. He didn't have a say in what he was allowed to be played in.
Okay, so I moved Assault down a few spots. A lot of those generics were really high because those were the first ones we did.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And yeah. So it's at 13 right now. Do you think it goes all the way to 9, you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's
lying
better
awake.
than
I
Attack of the
have a
Clones.
hard time ranking
I think
any.
more the Attack of the Clones needs to move down a couple spots.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
think I'd
and
agree
then
with
the
that.
Bark for Ground Assault goes above that.
Because I have a hard time giving Empire card
Okay.
a top 10 spot in
Don't
the
worry,
current.
you'll
current-
get better
current year.
cards when you stop ranking Empire cards.
I'm just thinking Mechanized Incursion with some of the plays.
Those
you can
all
make
look
with
like
it.
Rebel cards at the top, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll put Mechanized Incursion in the top 10 then. Oh, okay.
I think like that.
Okay. I like we do what we do at number 1 though. That's a good card.
That's going to be tough
Good
to
choice.
beat.
So okay.
Well, that top 3 is very.
The
It's gonna
top
be
3
hard
is
for
going to be,
those
yeah.
3 to go down.
Yeah.
Ahsoka's the first one leaving, for the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I do think I think I Am No Jedi did lose some value now though, just because Commander Luke can't take it. Right? It's still so good on Op Luke, but Commander Luke not being able to attack for a turn, you don't care as much
Yeah, that's fair.
as Op Luke not being able to attack, and like
I still
having
like
a
that
130
spot, though.
unit that can just. Oh yeah, no, I still think it's really good.
Bet he gets moved down a little bit, but yeah, I love, and I do mean love that card.
Yeah. Okay. So we have Debark for Ground Assault. Debark? Ugh, why does that word sound weird? Debark for
Debark.
Ground Assault at our new 10. We've got Attack of the Clones, Mechanized Incursion, Lying in Wait, moved down a spot or 2, and Assault is now at 14, with Unrelenting Fire at 15 now. And then we put Overwhelming Barrage at 21 under the new 20, which is Sabotage, Comms, and Above Push. And we'll have the tower linked. Man, it's gonna be crazy when we're down to like 80 of these things.
Man.
The large tower.
Yeah, it is.
Brick by brick.
Yeah, but
Brick by
it's
brick.
funny.
3 cards at a time.
It's so subjective. We're just.
No,
good
it's definitive.
conversation.
It's
good
black or white.
conversation starter.
I like how everyone comes in, convinces us to move things, and then we agree with them, and then the next person comes in and convinces us to move things, and we agree with them.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the last person we talked to is what.
Yeah.
Someone that come in next week and be like,
your
Sabotage
generics
Comms,
are so
the worst
high.
card
What
ever
are you
played.
doing?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, a new unit could change the value of these cards.
Mm-hmm.
A slight rules change, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like standby is no longer letting you get your free steady and charges. I bet changed the value of a lot of command cards that we don't even realize, things like that.
sure.
So
Yeah, for sure. Well, it really affected the Echo base that we talked about last time. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, on top of them reducing the number of, like reducing it to just orders from the card too. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Well, cool. Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Colton. I think
Sure.
this was
For sure.
great discussion times for
Man,
sure.
I learned a lot, which is going to help. So,
Yeah.
I mean, my tidbit of advice for everyone in this group, for all X and 1 players, is I'll just tell you a quick story and I'll leave. I'll leave. But I lost 12 games in a row of Legion. I thought I sucked. And I went to my 3rd tournament and I played the Josh Cook, member of our community. He was known as the Empire player. Everyone told me he was the best player at the tournament and every event we went to. I was playing Empire for the first time. I actually played Randy for the first time in that same tournament, round 1. Almost lost to Randy because I didn't know what the heck payload
That was my first tournament.
And, I was by far and above the X and 1 guy at that time. There was only like 9 of us, and I was by far the worst one. play Josh, and my mindset this time was just I'm gonna do whatever I can to learn and try my best. I wasn't scared. I wasn't like, oh no, it's Josh. Crap, I got matched up with Josh. This sucks. He plays Empire better than me. I'm gonna lose. I beat Josh that game, and then I beat my buddy Aaron in the third round and won my first tournament. And I was like, oh, I can beat people like Josh. And so my advice is when you see a big scary cat like me and you're like, oh gosh, I got matched against Colton, don't ever go into it with a sense of like negativity or I'm going to lose or I can't win this. Always approach it in the sense of I'm going to try to beat this guy and I'm going to do it in a way that I know how to win. I think players get way too scared of certain people, especially in our local scene, where it's just like, oh my gosh, he's so good, he's going to beat me. Having confidence is the best tactics talk advice I can give you, especially if you're playing your army, the list you love, even if it's not as good as the person's in front of you. Just having confidence and having fun is going to help you so much more than whatever else you heard today.
Yeah.
Still a game at the end of the day.
It's still a game.
Enjoy it.
Breathe.
Yep. There's worse things you could be doing. So.
Yep. I don't run out of confidence. I just run out of wounds left sometimes. But
That's pretty good.
sweet. Okay, subscribe to the Discord. Join me in Wiki Chat where we discuss all things Wikis, and Mitchum and Randy are not allowed.
Colton's in there too. You can bug him
Yep,
about these
for sure.
topics and other topics.
Oh, sure.
Will he answer?
Ping me.
I don't know.
Nah, you just put my name at your boy Colton. I will answer. I get 200 Discord notifications in an hour. I'm kind of a psychopath.
Sounds when you're popular. Let's see. Our next local tournament is coming up at Primal Nerds on June 21st. Make sure you sign up, get out for that, because first place will be getting a ticket to Oklahoma's first GT Legion tournament happening in Norman at the Embassy Suites, November 15th and 16th. The Oklahoma Open tickets are live. Buy your tickets on Best Coast Pairings, and then we will send you a link to sign up on Longshanks. That's what we'll be using. We have a block of room set aside for people coming out of town. We are super excited. There's going to be 3 total games there. It's going to be AOS, Trench Crusade, and Legion. We're hoping to get 32 players there for the first year, and then we're just going to grow from there, hopefully eventually getting into an AMG GT eventually in the future. So yeah, please sign up, come hang out with us. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have tons of awesome prize support, and the winner of the local tournament on at Primal Nerds in June will win a free ticket, a value of $65 to Oklahoma Open. So definitely come out on the June tournament, and I will pay for your ticket if you win. It's also an LVOIS qualifier, so come out and get a chance to go to LVO in October. So yeah, I think those are my 2 big announcements. If you guys have any other questions about Oklahoma Open, please feel free to reach out. You can probably message me on Discord. I can send you the links or any information that I have. There's an awesome trailer teaser video that the main event organizer, cool. Chase, has put together. He's a videographer. He's fantastic. Has all the dates and information that you need. Yeah, please tell everybody, tell your friends. We'll have the link in our description. Send it out. We're going to try to we're going to try to pack the house, and then we can only get bigger from there. So, yeah, Oklahoma Open. This is just going to be the first, just trying to get into the door. And then hopefully next year we'll be even bigger. So, yeah, we're all really excited.
And if we get enough people that listen to come out, maybe we can arrange some kind of either Friday night or post Saturday get together, have some drinks and some food kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely want to plan a social.
You can hobby harass Mitchum in person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got to pay extra for that. You got to pay extra. So, but yeah, no, I would be down to be hobby harassed in real life. So,
yeah,
come on down.
Sweet.
Matt, anything?
No. Hopefully, by the time you've seen this, you guys have given Mitchum a hard time at Big D. So, just hopefully you guys kept up your end of the bargain, harass Mitchum, and Hopefully he did well. Hopefully he got at least a little X1 action for us a little bit while you're down there. So
we'll see. We have a bunch of I'll mention this real fast. We have a bunch of awesome interviews coming up. Rocky Top Open just happened over Memorial Day. We're going to be interviewing the first place and second place winner. Richard from Crit to Block went 5-0 with a Gar Lat list that I'm very excited to talk about. And then Droid Player won the whole thing. So it'll be nice to talk to a Droid player. So yeah. And then the one person we don't have in our of the hosts is the army that we don't play as Droid. So it'll be really nice to kind of pick his brain about that. So be on the lookout for that. Going X and O. Yeah. So just kind of we have a lot of good content coming out recently, and join the Discord and like, subscribe, do everything else. Hit the bell, stay informed. Yeah.
And speaking of liking and subscribing, you can find Colton over at Jerry's Gameshop YouTube channel. Mentioned the getting started, learning how to play this new version of Legion. But yeah, Colton, any other things for the channel you want to plug?
No, I mean, y'all just come over and check it out. That's the fun thing about us all knowing each other in Oklahoma is we have, like, I don't care what you think, we have the best Legion community out there. Like, that is the reason I play this game. I mean, we have so many good guys, so it's a great mixture of if you want the X and 1 experience, if you want the tactics talk experience, if you want the battle report experience, like, we all contribute to that platform. So just come on over and you'll see plenty of content. You listen to a podcast while you're painting, and while you're walking at the gym, you can watch a battle report. But we've got a Patreon, we've got all types of videos. We are collaborating, obviously, all the time. So just love and support us, and we get to keep doing what we do for fun.
For sure.
Well, great. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us again. And thank you for sticking around and listening. And just remember that X and O is a little tactics talk away. Later.
Yep.
Bye.